This is the law of depth. Now, this law says that strength and peace come from depth, come from the depth. Okay, so what are the things come from the depth? Strength and peace. Strength of anything, if you go deeper, it will give you the strength. If you wanted to raise a building here, we have a lot of structural engineers here, experts in our group. So to have a very high-rise building in Dubai, there are many. 50-story building is just common. It's a small category. You don't even consider them as a high-rise. Yeah? So now to have some 50-story building, you need to have the foundation, the depth of that piles they are driving into the ground to make it stand still. Your 5-story building and 50-story building, only difference is it should have a more depth, the root, so that it can sustain this. Some storm will come, air will come, and all this kind of weather will change and everything. It should withstand that kind of thing. So, same in this particular aspect, I have given one example in this that when the tree grows, okay, the root also grows. It goes in deeper and deeper into the soil, otherwise the tree cannot sustain. And this particular thing, stronger the root, deeper the root, stronger the tree. Okay, when some storm comes, you will see those trees are fallen down whose roots are shallow. But where the roots are deep, only few branches may be broken here and there, but tree didn't fall. So that is the strength of the tree coming from how depth your root went. Nobody knows because it is outside outside your normal vision. People don't know. Whatever happening subsurface, the depth of activity give you that kind of strength. So this helps you to grow and prosper. But it comes from the depth. If your foundation is not in depth, then no matter if you increase it at your load, you will fall down. There was some Chinese bamboo tree, and there was very interesting. Yeah? So when the tree, the seed, is plant seed or whatever, this small thing, hatch has been planted, the bamboo tree, then I think first 2 years there is nothing on the surface. Few years, I forget the exactly name of how many years, 2, 3, 4 years or something, there's nothing on the surface. So people say it is Western, Chinese bamboo tree, I'm saying. Then within next few months, when it comes sprouts, it goes into some 50 feet tall. It goes very fast growth. Now, then people get surprised. There was nothing for a few years and suddenly within few months it go to 20 feet or something. Yeah. Then they researched and found out that first, the few years, only the root grows. Root goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And when the root is fully established, then only the growth starts. So within few months, it can go to this is one of the tallest bamboos, by the way. But is the panda and other animal they eat, this bamboo leaves, that one. It grows very fast. So that means to have a fast growth, you need to have in much depth and strength of your base foundation. These are the nature giving us that lesson, formula for growth. Don't measure every day how much you grow, up. What about your foundation? So initially focus on your foundation. In our life, if we go our growth, if we give equivalent to the knowledge, okay, then in our society, first few years, first say maybe 1/4 of our life is to create the foundation, education, getting higher knowledges, then professional education and all those things. There's no growth, no earning, only spending. That's fine, but that is creating your base. That is creating your foundation for the life. More in-depth knowledge you have in the professional life, you will be better placed. And then you can grow professionally. But for that, you need to have in-depth knowledge. In our, earlier, I think school days, some of the professor was telling that what was the difference between the normal study and the research? What is the difference between study and the research? In our college days, I'm saying bachelors and all, we have studied, but not become a master or not become specialized. So I still remember that how he explained. He says, see, research study means to have overall view of the subject. That is a study. You studied some subject, overall view, you have the something view. But the research is something different. Research is to know more and more about less and less. I can do a research on a sand particle. I need not to run around the whole sea beach. But in the sand particle and go deeper and deeper and deeper. That is research. So here what happened is, instead of the width of the subject, you are coming close, very small focused one area. And then you are going deep and deep into it. That is your research. So research is all depending upon the depth of your knowledge about one particular thing. Okay. In the surface, those are called jack of all trades. And masters are those who go deep into the subject and hit the bullseye. You see that what is called dart? There is only one point, center point, bullseye. There are many other small areas here and there. So if you do different, you may close, but it may not be hit the bullseye. Yeah. So this is how the precision and the depth brings you. Depth brings you this particular aspect of it. Okay. I have also given example of, so in that case, the depth gives you the strength of the knowledge. They call knowledge is power. Means whatever when you like to apply, your knowledge works. Not what is available in the books, not in Google. The actual situations is life cannot be found in Google. It can be found through your own experiences. Because every situation is unique. Okay, you can get some idea, something, but not the depth. In this case, your depth is the strength. Chanakya sloka. The sloka, the Chanakya has given some kind of slokas, his wisdom, and we read it in the school. Sanskrit, when we studied for, I think, few years, we read that. Chanakya sloka, one of the stanza, the Chanakya is telling, Pustakastha tuja vidya, means whatever the knowledge in the books, parahastagatam dhanam, means the money which is with others, not with you. Karya kale samatpanne, when the need comes, karyakal, when the need comes, samutpanne, when it appears, no sabidha na tadhanam. That knowledge in the books and the wealth with others become useless. Okay, so that means the depth part of it, the difference between an in-depth person and another shallow person who have a shallow idea of that, not experienced enough, the difference is the response to any situation. Or also, if I put it in other way, another Chanakya slok. Okay, so another Chanakya slok says, Swadesha pujyate raja. Swadesha means in his own country, the king is worshipped. Vidwan sarvatra pujyate. A knowledgeable person is worshipped everywhere, is respected everywhere. So king is honored in his own country, but not outside. But a knowledgeable person is worshipped everywhere. So from where the person with a depth of knowledge is needed everywhere, all the time. It is timeless thing. It comes from the depth. So anyway, so I think I make it clear that the first part of it, the strength. So I'm just telling that what is the loss is strength and peace comes from the depth. Strength part is clear. Having building knowledge, everything. Yeah, depth gives you the strength. Now let me come to the peace. See, the peace of most precious thing to run our life is a peace, to be particularly peace of mind. If I am not peaceful, or if a country is unstable, nothing can prosper. You know, in the countries which are peaceful, business grows there. Politically unrest countries, no, business cannot prosper there. So peace is a fundamental need for the prosperity and growth. If I want to grow in my life, enjoy that, the Jivan Madhurya, I need to have peace of mind. Otherwise, I will not grow. And somebody, I think, Randolph Emerson, one person I was reading, he said a beautiful words, a life measured not by the length, but by the depth. Whatever your life contributes, not how long you lived, doesn't matter. Swami Vivekananda, his life was only 39 years. And look at what depth he has gone into and what he contributed to humanity. So it is not about length of the life, how much you lived. 70, 80, 90, 100 years or 110, you are getting Guinness record, doesn't matter. How much you contributed, that matters. So in this case, the depth of your life matters. The many, the masters, they left very early age. Yeah? So many big, the poets or the painters and all, their lifetime is not a very long one, but they contributed within that so much that still it continues, that helps the humanity to go into, they become example, role models. So to bring that, to enjoy life, you need to have a peace. Peace in the external world, peace in inner world. Otherwise, you cannot enjoy. That's why I give an example of some country which is not peaceful, under war. You cannot have a business there. You cannot run a normal life there. Look at what is happening in Afghanistan. In turbulent situation, nothing can prosper. I mean, humanity, I'm saying. The human things cannot prosper. You cannot run a normal school. You cannot run a normal business. You cannot run a normal office. Okay. So peace is needed. And this peace also comes from the depth. I have given an example of the sea, ocean. All the turbulence of the ocean, the wave and the crashing and all these kind of things, a lot of storm came and the tsunami came and all this, on the surface of the water. You go deeper and deeper into the water. There is no wave. Stand still. At a certain depth, it is completely calm. Powerful. You know, there is a pressure. Water pressure is there, but it's holding it. It is not buckling under the pressure. You know what I mean? It's huge pressure, but calm. Life will give you that pressure to test you. That you'll be calm like a, almost the depth of the sea. The vastness will be there. Pressure will be there, but you'll be calm. This comes by holding it. That holding is only possible at the peace. If you are turbulent, you are agitated, mostly agitated by the emotion. That's why first thing we learn how to control our emotion, how we control our mind, because those are on the surface level. Through that, we go into the deep. Suppose I wanted to go dive deep into it, but there is storm going on, so I have to cancel my trip. Now I cannot do some kind of, go deep dive into the sea because surface is too turbulent. At least I need small pocket to go in there. So that's why we practice. Eckhart Tolle, their master, the spiritual masters, he's sharing his wisdom. Spiritual wisdom is deep within you, everything is known. That's what I normally say, your soul knows everything. So the same thing. So deep within you, everything is known. That means he's saying that I need not to teach you something. I need to only establish your connection with your own depth. Any kind of false belief system, if I remove it, you will get into the deep. Like an ocean, if I come down that top surface, you'll be able to dive deep within you. You will find there the peace you are looking for, the tranquility you are looking for. I also give some example. I think 2021st January, the yearly thing when I give some kind of how this year should go energetically. And there I have given that the external world, there's a lot of turbulence is happening. And I think Gaurav has also put the picture of that into that video. The children, they play with something goes round and round. They just rotating disc sort of thing. They jump into it and they enjoy that ride sort of thing, or merry-go-round type of stuff. So what your spiritual learning is that all the turbulence are on the edge of this rotating disc. And suppose you put a stone and the thread and you are rotating it. So the stone is having maximum movement, but the center is always steady, always still. It's not moving. same as that wheel. So how to you overcome the turbulence of your life? Center yourself. Here spirituality comes. If you center yourself and go deep into it, you will find peace. Just like I give an example of a sea. Don't judge the sea looking at the surface or at the sea beach. Is it too turbulent? Oh my goodness, lot of risk. No. Inside it is peaceful. More depth you go, more peace you will get. Absolutely peaceful. Okay, same here with us. Don't go with the face value of it. In a depth. There is enough of facial expression or enough of so-called Facebook. Okay. You need to find your own book, the knowledge that is available in your fourth body. Go to that book, open that book and read that book. Then you will find the meaning of life, not the expressions of life. People are doing a lot of expressions there, that's okay. Yeah, no issues with that. To find the meaning, to find the strength, to find the peace. To find the peace, you need to know the truth. Truth is only available there. The rest of all are versions. Truth comes from your direct experience of downloading that, the universal truth, the Brahma Gyan. And the truth will liberate you. Truth will bring the peace. Truth will bring the power. So it can only be obtained in the depth. Pearls are not available in the surface of the sea. People need to go learn the skill, go deeper and deeper into the sea to get into that shell and get the pearl from there. Same here. Diamonds are also made into the thousands of meters deep below the soil, among the, some coal, but diamond found there. Diamond was not found lying down somewhere in the riverbed, no. Because they need that kind of pressure and things to get it diamond, and the pearl also produced by that. So to go into our true essence, we need to go deep into yourself. And you will find your treasure there, your strength there, your power there, your potential life are all built in within you, in the depth of your being. By spiritual means, you can touch upon that, you untap that, and live your life accordingly. So with this, I conclude my today's discussion. And if any question, then I will answer on this, to a question on this topic.
Guruji, this is Sulabha here.
Yes, Sulabha.
So, like you said, this entire process of going into ourselves, all of us are sort of in it. We are all moving in that direction. I want to know, what do you deem as progress in this, Guruji? How do we know that we are progressing, or how do we know that we are doing this right? Is there any way that we can understand that?
See, this is one territory that you cannot actually measure by the traditional means. Okay, like the way I give example is, with a scale, you cannot measure the volume of a milk, right? There are several dimensions involved. In one dimensional scale, you cannot measure the volume and something like that. or it's a gas volume. You cannot measure with that. But there are some indirect ways to have that. If you wanted to make the first thing, wanted to find out what is that, first thing you have to measure is what is the vibrational frequency you are in, which category, not by the measurement of that, because it changes, varies with your own emotion, mood and all those things. That is one measure. Another measure, your capability to hold no thought in your mind. How long you can do that? That is your measure. If you're a master, then just you can switch off the mind, no thought. With your will, switch on. Again, it will start. So that is where you have to reach. You have to see how much no thought you can hold depending upon how much sadhana you have to do. That's it. You can do few seconds or these things on your own. Nobody else will know. Okay, so that is the type of thing you need to do. But as I said, there is no such thing. You put a meter like a blood pressure thing, it will give you reading. It's nothing like that. Okay, because that is the wrong concept and wrong ideas. But these are something you can have to get on that one.
Also, Guruji, I was trying out the exercise that you told us to do every 1 minute. We come with understanding what
thought going on in your mind.
When I did not do that, I didn't even realize that such small thoughts, but don't even know from where they're coming, and they're so irrelevant to every day of my life. But those are there. So it's very funny if I start writing down them, because it doesn't make any sense. The mind is going
doesn't matter, because nobody else will read, but it will help you. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Write one word or two words. That's it. But whether it is important or irrelevant doesn't matter, because when you write it, you will get that feedback. It is irrelevant. Yeah, it will go to your subconscious. Yeah.
How do we do that, Guruji? How do we stop that? Because they're not even regular thoughts. I don't even know where those thoughts are coming from. So we just observe them, like you say, like the observer is observing, and
don't try to stop them. Let them flow as it is. Only you have to watch them.
Okay.
Only witness them. No analysis. That's it. It is against our normal belief system that to stop something, you need to do something. Okay. Here I am giving you the spiritual technique of non-doing. Okay. Just by watching, just by observing, it will go. And that's why I give example, no? Why it happens. Nobody knows, but this is I give example, say some children are playing dark room, some child's birthday party, and they're jumping on the bed, throwing pillow at each other, etc. So in the door, when one adult enters into the room, automatically their activity comes down. Because they know that somebody is watching, that's all. So same here. When you watch your thoughts, automatically it will come down.
Okay. Thank you, Guruji.
No, you don't have to do anything. You have to take any action. Just watch. That's it. Okay. Any other question? Yes, Chaitali, go ahead.
Guruji, my question is, a normal person like us, if he or she is going through a very bad patch in their life, how can they have that peace?
The short answer is not to owning the problem. You are no one who did you created that problem?
No.
If you created the problem, then it is in your hand. You can just stop creating it and it will disappear. But if you have not created it, then don't claim it to be yours. You just observe, you accept. I'm just sharing my things. I used to say, okay, now I'm just observing myself, what is going on in my mind. So not now, earlier I'm telling, when I was practicing, I said, Rajdeep is unhappy. Yeah. But Rajdeep is angry because something happened, some injustice happened. Rajdeep is missed the flight. So Rajdeep is frustrated. So I'm accepting that it is unhappy. But there is a difference between Rajdeep is unhappy and I am unhappy. There is a huge difference. That's what I'm saying. Don't claim to be you who is facing it. You are much, much bigger entity. Like it is much beyond that what is the normal things, the nitty-gritties of life is happening. From that angle, you just accept it and let go. And when you go to that level, then slowly, slowly you develop the capability that you realize the truth that is happening in the outside world, and your external entity is getting affected, not fully you. No one has a power to touch that unless until you give a permission. So that is the thing I normally advise, that don't own the problem. Don't say it is my problem. Then it will come to you. This is initial level. But finally, after doing this and everything, so now every day morning I surrender whole thoughts, words and actions, all my free will things, what is given as a free will contract, thoughts, words and actions, I surrender it to Babaji every morning. It is a free will. It is my thought. Okay. My words, my action, but I surrender. So no matter what happens, I said, ये भी तुम्हारा है, वो भी तुम्हारा है. This is also yours, that is good is also yours, bad is also yours. You are experiencing through me, that's it. So my own thing, just stop claiming it to be my problem. I'm getting liberated from it. Problems are there. I'm not saying problem gets solved. But I'm not affected by the problem. Also, I tell myself 60 years back, there was no Rajdeep. 60 years from now, there will be no Rajdeep. Problem will remain there. Who am I to claim it is my problem? And then I start getting bothered and this and that, start crying, jumping, shouting. How does it matter? Okay. Only I will trouble myself. Maybe I will fall sick. I will become another patient. I will try to give justification and call 5 people to tell how, how troublesome I am in how these things, get little bit of sympathy. They will give you false sympathy, and next time they will not lift your phone. Okay? As simple as that. Drop those kind of things. Those are called poor me syndrome. Drop all these things. It's not good for anyone. Take it as a challenge. Okay, life has given some challenge. Let's see what best we can do. Whatever effect is, it's not mine. I'm just like acting my role in this theater of life. Okay, I'm just an actor. I just play my role and get out of it one day. It's okay. So don't give unnecessarily too much importance of any aspect of life what it does not deserve. Okay, and how to live your life. I have given example of that Pankaj, the lotus which comes out from the mud, but nothing, even a drop of water cannot touch its surface. Same as a duck, swan or duck. The water doesn't touch. It's in the water. Another beautiful aspect of, we're talking about the peace and all, how to live a life. We can take lessons from the duck also, what, have you seen the duck, they're going across the water like some lake. It's very peaceful, whether it's a duck or swan. They're just floating very slowly, very, very graceful, their movement. But below the thing, now we are talking about the depth here, in subsurface, what people cannot see, you will see it has got giving lot of effort, no? Flapping and movement of the legs to swim. That all this fast movement of the legs are not seen from the top. In the top, it is beautiful. It is very tranquil. So in our life, whatever we need to do, like the duck or swan, we have to do this effort to be afloat. But the body Neither water will touch our body. We'll keep afloat and move gracefully through the life. So that is a lesson you have to take from the duck or the swan. And that is where that peace comes. Peace is not in the absence of the effort needed to be afloat. If you stop movement, you will sink. But it is not seen, not seen. It is all thing, everything is done, what is needed to be done, and then you are floating. Let me share with you the message came from Babaji yesterday during our Dubai group meditation. So here I think Narvekar, Somnath, they were there. In that time, Babaji came and giving message, and we were permitted to ask any question. Okay. So in that, what I asked Babaji this is you remember in the beginning of the year, I told in the New Year message that this is a year of renewal. If you can go and listen to that message again. This is a year, 2021 is a year of renewal. And then also, I think 2-3 weeks back, I told the October maximum transformation and changes will happen. Yeah. After actually retrograde is over, which is 18th of October. So maximum thing. Now it is a very good time, for progress, prosperity, growth, and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. I was, asking Babaji yesterday. That's why I'm saying Somnath and Narvekar was there, so they can confirm this message. I was asking that why we feel this, all over humanity, all of us, we are feeling the loss. No? It looks like things are going away from us. Forget about the growth and the new thing. It looks like we lost. COVID happened and a lot of things. So a lot of things has sense of loss. Now we have come almost bare minimum. Just few things left, whether it's the money, whether this and that, and forget about the lifestyle and this kind of stuff. Why? You know what Babaji's answer? His answer कि अभी पतझड़ का मौसम है. Humanity is going like a seasonal change. In the season, the winter, all the leaves of the tree falls down, patjhar. No leaf left, complete. Here we don't see in Middle East, we don't see that much. In only Himalayan things, or who lives in US, Canada, they feel that. At the time of the snow starts, all the leaves get dropped completely. Like the trees were the bare. When the winter goes, the new leaf comes and the tree grows. Babaji is telling that during Patjhar ka Mausam, tree doesn't die. Maybe all leaves fall down. It is all whatever you had that need to go. Whether it is concept, ideas, and patterns and all, they need to drop like a patjhar. Even if you come as a bear, not a single leaf left on the tree. It is a seasonal change from the humanity. New leaves are coming, and it will make you grow faster. It is just a season. It is not the end of life. So just you have to pass through that season with this understanding. Winter will be over soon. New leaves will come. It will not the same old leaves. And that is what renewal means. To renew, the old has to go. No? Otherwise, from where the leaf will come? The old leaf has to drop. It's got dried up and drop. It is no longer in use. It cannot do its photosynthesis. What it's supposed to do is got brown. It has to fall down. No, that's what the patjhar is all about. So when Babaji gave the example of the tree, then we can correlate and we understand what is happening here. Such a beautiful. So when I received that message, I start crying. And people go deep into meditation. That I was just saying that this understanding was missing. It's desperately needed right now. Then why you are losing everything? Now it makes sense. Because everything will come back. New, fresh, green. And this is the time. Time has started already. Okay. So just you have to do your bit, your practice to move forward with that one. Okay. So that is the message received from Babaji I just shared. I was thinking I'll share this message into the Facebook. I didn't get time. But anyway, at least I shared with you all. So this is the understanding of whatever is going through with the humanity. Why we are all losing everything. Okay. So this is that understanding of that.